You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you for tuning in and listening. We are The Real Short Box. My name is Donald. I'm here with Kevin and very special guest, one horror aficionado, John Catheline. Thank you for joining us, John.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And John has a wonderful podcast called The Horror Guys, so be sure to check that out. He does a fantastic job on there. And currently, he's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to the Halloween franchise.
Yes.
So we're excited to hear, I'm sure, some of his choices on this, our podcast for the evening. Your favorite, or some of your favorite, horror icons. Like, when we're talking about the actors themselves, you know, the roles that they played that really just kind of stuck with you and went, man, this is insane. This is great. I love this performance. I love this actor for this reason. Like, this is what you remember them as. This is what is important when it comes to the horror genre. Why? You know, those kinds of things. So I think we're going to start out of the gate. We're going to hit John with one since he's the guest. Do you have a choice for us, somebody that really just kind of resonated with you in the horror genre world that you were like, wow, I love this person's performance. I love this person. That's my dude.
Honestly, my top one would have to be Donald Pleasance. Obviously, Dr. Loomis from Halloween. His character was just so... me and Alan were actually talking about this not too long ago. You could tell that he actually, as much as he was trying to stop Michael, he also cared about him at the same time. Yes, he was trying to kill him, but he was also trying to stop him from doing what he was doing. He was trying to help him along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Donald Pleasance has played that character so well. There was talk of originally they wanted Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing to play the role. And I'm kind of glad they went with Donald Pleasance because as good as those two are, I couldn't see them playing that role as good as he did.
Yeah,
he was just a huge part of that whole franchise up until Halloween 6, unfortunately, when he passed away. So, I mean, and really, if you think about it, he still stays a pretty big part of the series now because they haven't stopped mentioning him throughout this whole new Blumhouse trilogy. So really, he's still a huge part of the movies, even though he's not there.
Yeah, Dr. Loomis, that's right.
Yeah, but I would love, he would have been my ideal guest of a person at a convention that I would have loved to have met. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, but yeah, that would have been awesome to meet him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and that comes into play too a lot with horror films. Like it's a genre where there seems to be a lot of death, you know, when it comes to the actors in that world, and you kind of got to wonder if it's shrouded in mystique and mystery because of this. If there's a curse of some point, you know, like we talked about with Poltergeist, that there's a curse there. You know, something along those lines, or it's just, you know, bad luck, you know, bad diet, you know, bad hereditary speaking, you know, genes. Nobody knows, but there is like that mystery, that shroud of death that kind of looms upon horror films. Anton Yelchin, who passed away not too long ago, he was in the remake of Fright Night, which I know is one of John's favorites.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm waiting for you to send it to me for my birthday. You said it's coming.
Yeah, for your birthday. Yeah, I gotta send it to you for your birthday. Every year you'll get a copy. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh man, yes.
It's torture.
The son of a bitch is actually doing it. Yeah. So for me, that, you know, there's that thought that comes to mind. But as far as like, so with you, it's Donald Pleasance in Halloween playing Loomis. Kevin, what do you feel? Do you have somebody like that kind of just resonated with you and you're like, oh damn?
One of the all-time greats, and thank God he's still alive right now, and that is Robert Englund.
Great choice.
Freddy Krueger. I mean, for a guy who plays... Oh, go ahead.
He did a good job, but I think his brother could have been better. Teddy London. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
No? Oh, okay.
I'm more push for like Scary Terry was good too, you know. But
well, you know, what about Billy Scotland? What about him?
I like Billy Scotland. Yeah, he's pretty good too. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, you were saying Robert Englund.
Yeah, Robert Englund. You know, for a guy who plays a character that has done some horrific things, I mean, horrible things. When you really think about it, one of the worst human beings that could possibly exist. He plays it with such charisma and such, in some respects, some sympathy. He's just so good at what he does, and he's so entertaining. He just has that magnetism. You're just drawn to him. And when he speaks, his movement, it's just amazing. There's no one else out there that can play this character. I know the guy from he's a good actor too. Bad News Bears originally, and he played Rorschach and
Jackie Earle Haley.
Jackie Earle Haley,
Yeah.
good actor.
Yeah.
Now I'll be honest with you, I'm actually going to watch it. I've been holding back watching the remake. People tell me how horrible it is. I'm going to check it out just to see what it's like. But I'm almost certain. I'm sure he does a good job, but there's just something special about Robert Englund. Like no one could touch that role. There's no one out there to touch that role. So to me, he owns it forever, no matter what. I know they're going to try again to remake it at some point in the future, but it's just not going to work. They have to.
Because they're concerned that the franchise is going to die with him. So when he goes, the franchise goes, and they can't have that. So.
When I met John Saxon, he kind of agreed with me about that. When I met John Saxon at that convention at the Shrine, he actually asked me. I got his autograph. He said, "Hey, what do you think about the remake coming out?" And I said, "Well, sir, to be honest with you, some things should just be left alone." He said, "You know what? I agree with you." I was like,
"Yeah." Did he have a part in the remake?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so. No, I think it was who the hell was the sheriff? I know Clancy Brown was in the movie. I'm not sure if he was the sheriff or one of the parents, but
Clancy Brown's one that I always forget about, like his name. I know him as a person, but I always forget his name. Yeah, Clancy Brown is fantastic.
He is. Pet Sematary too. He was great in that. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's always played a really good Highlander. I think it was Highlander 2. He played a really good bad guy. He's also been in Earth 2. He was in that. He was in Carnival. He played a really good villain in Carnival. Yeah. He was an evil preacher.
The voice of Mr. Krabs too from SpongeBob.
Yeah, and Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a villain. Yeah.
How about you, Donald?
I would say Tom Atkins is probably a big one for me. My Bloody Valentine being a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Squad, and then seeing him in Night of the Creeps, his famous Thrill Me and stuff.
What about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in that too. I have to rewatch it though, because to be fair, I watched it when I thought that didn't exist. that like just Michael Myers would be in all of them, and when the third one came, I was like, what the hell is this shit?
But the jingle, the jingles catch.
Oh, the jingle drove me up the goddamn wall. I'm gonna be honest, it drove me up the goddamn wall. Yeah, I was ready to let that go, like right at the beginning. I was like, can we just stop with this? Like,
well, hey, at the end, he was saying that, stop it.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, as he should. Yeah,
it's true.
So I really like Tom Atkins. I think he's a spot on, great actor, a lot of fun. Proved himself outside of the horror world as well, but also really good within those boundaries. So I think he's solid and a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun, especially Night of the Creeps. You got to check that out if you have yet to see that, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. John, you got another one?
I was always a fan of Angus Scrimm from Phantasm. I thought he was phenomenal, man. I heard he was one of the nicest people in the world, and I'm so sad that I never got a chance to meet him at a convention. He sadly passed away before I had the opportunity. But I just always loved I love that tall man character. He played the hell out of that role. He can creep you out at the same time. He can kind of make you laugh too. Like he was just that kind of person. But for me, obviously, I'm a huge Halloween fan. So we talked about it before, but I have a poster signed by a ton of people from the movie. So getting the chance to meet all those people throughout the years, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, Nick Castle, the OG Michael Myers, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I got to give a shout out to James Jude Courtney, who took over the reins, obviously, from 2018 all the way up into Ends coming out here soon. He's done a phenomenal job as Michael Myers. The movements, the way he just plays the character. You can tell he did his homework, where some people throughout the series have kind of knocked some of the guys that have played the character. I think everybody's done their own justice to the character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think James Jude Courtney really nailed Nick Castle's movements and stuff. And I think he's done a great job. And it's kind of sad to see him go as the character, this being the last one that he'll be involved with. So, yeah, And I did get to meet him a couple years ago. Super, super nice guy.
Nice. It's always good when like your idols or icons in the movie world and in any world actually is fun. So
I agree. It's disappointing when they're not too,
Right.
like I met Ken Foray, for example, and he was one of those all about the money type of people. I had him sign my Devil's Rejects poster, which I have signed by everybody but Rob, Sherry, and Danny Trejo. Those are like
Robin Sherry. You know what's funny? I met all three of them, and they're all nice.
Really?
I met Danny Trejo at a gym that my old roommate used to work at. He was one of his instructors. And then Rob and Cheryl Zombie at the ArcLight, they came in super nice. I had like a good conversation with them at the box office. Super nice. Really cool.
That's beautiful. Dude gets
That's
a lot of
fantastic.
flack for his movies, but it's nice to hear that he's a nice person outside of that,
Yeah, and his wife, super cool.
See, that's cool. But I've met a lot of people from that movie too. But like Ken Foray was very put the poster down, sign it real quick, and he just wanted his money. And it was like, damn, dude, like you can't like sign it to me. It was just Ken Foray. That was it. I was like, damn, can I get a personalization here? Like I always felt like if you're the fan asking for the personalization on the poster, whatever you're getting signed, a DVD, whatever, that lets them know that I'm not going to sell that. That's going home with me, and that's a possession that I'm proud to have. Whereas, like, if you're giving them 4 or 5 different items and you're saying just put your name on it, damn well that's going on eBay. Exactly. So I feel like, dude, even with wrestling and stuff, like, I've never turned a person down, even being the bad guy, the heel, I don't care. If you want to take a picture with me, I'm right there to do it. If you want me to sign something, I'm right there to do it. And I think a lot of them forget sometimes that we are the fans. We're the ones that appreciate your work, and we're the reason why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Got to take time and think about stuff like that sometimes. And like you said, it's a nice feeling when you meet somebody that you're looking forward to meeting and they're nice to you.
Right.
And in the same respect, it sucks when you meet that person you're looking forward to and they're an asshole.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're in the bathroom taking a piss and someone bothering you for an autograph. That's one thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Come on.
What are you saying? Why'd you bring that up, Kevin? Because I did that?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Look, it was Adam
Yes.
Sandler. It was one time, and I didn't care that
Oh,
he had
wow.
a kid with him.
What, was he a jerk though?
No, he was fine.
No, that's cool.
No, I didn't really bother him.
I've heard he's actually nice too from, just hearing hearsay or whatever bit.
Yeah, he's nice. He's fine.
It's funny. Speaking of wrestling, I met Scott Steiner at the last Comic-Con, and I could tell. I hear he's kind of a difficult person, but I approached him very carefully. I just said, "Hey, sir, I just want to let you know you and your brother one of my favorite tag teams. That's it." I didn't even try to shake his hand. I just wanted to tell him that. He just looked at me and said, "Okay, thank you, I appreciate it." And he just went on about his business. Just kind of gave him his space. You can tell he was just
Oh yeah, you see some of these videos people post and they're like, "Oh hey, we met Kevin Nash and stuff." He looks miserable to be there. Literally just looks miserable.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Oh man, I just recently found out you were Super Strutter, and that's so cool. And I love that movie." And he was like, "Yeah, where do you want me to sign, kid?" And I'm like, "Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you're sick of hearing that, but this kid's like super excited about that." And you're just like, "Yeah, where do you want me to sign?"
All right.
Like, dude, you're banking $80 an autograph, probably. Like, you can smile and say hi, like, come on, man.
See, it break down sort of Hulk Hogan treating him bad. It's like, just hurry up and get out of my face, brother. If he said something like that to me.
Dude, I'd be right there with him because that was my guy growing up, man. I'd feel the same way if Hogan treated me
what
bad.
happened though? I would grab the end of the table and I'd start shaking and getting all angry, too angry for him, and then he wouldn't be able to stop me, and I would just grab his hands and I would push him down to the
And then you talk about the
ground.
training, the prayers, and the vitamins, and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, I tell him I took my vitamins, said my prayers, and
That's right.
ate my veggies or whatever the hell.
Actually, Piper would break your heart. I know Piper was your boy. So Piper, if he did that to you, that would have broken your heart.
Oh,
Literally-
you would hear the bagpipes just screaming in the background as I walked away.
Yep.
One of the nicest people I've ever had the opportunity to work on a show with. Literally the most genuinely nice person ever.
Roderick Toombs?
Yes.
Wow.
Such a nice man. I mean, honestly, like, to sum it up for you real quick, they had done a photo op with him, and the guy was developing the pictures at the show as people were waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the people that ended up taking the pictures into the locker room for him. And this poor man is standing here in his underwear signing these pictures, right? So he's trying hard. He's trying to get them as they come, and just to watch him, he would take the picture and lay it on the table and he'd go, "Look at that beautiful family." He like really took time. He like signed the picture and stuff. He's like, "My God, that's a beautiful kid." look at that. That's just a wonderful family. And he was just so in like making people just enjoy themselves and have a good time,
It shows he has appreciation. He had appreciation for life and for people because he had a difficult background. So I think he's someone who realized, I'm so blessed to be in the position I'm in. So I'm not going to act a fool and act a jerk. I'm just going to, show people my appreciation, my gratitude for, loving my character and the work I do.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, everybody has a bad day, man. Everybody. So you're entitled to that. Obviously, it's going to happen. But when you go to these conventions and stuff, or you go to like these wrestling shows, and you're a fan wanting to meet these people, they have to take in consideration that that's a huge moment for these people.
That's right.
And okay, maybe you had a bad day. You know what? Swallow it, smile, and tell them thank you. And that
I try to tell Donald that all the time. You got to let it go, man. When you meet the people, you got to swallow it.
What?
And on that note,
yes,
this is now
my next character.
It's the Real Short Box After Dark has just taken over now.
Apparently, good Lord.
Yes. My next person that I actually met a couple of times, and he's a cool guy. Tony Todd, Candyman.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And also Night of the Living Dead remake in the 90s as well.
Yes.
Big dude, man. He is legitimately like a 6'6", like 240-pound dude. And I remember when I shook his hand, my hand disappeared. And my hand's not a small hand either, by the way. So my hand disappeared when he shook my hand. But nice guy. It's like, yeah, God bless you, man. Thank you, sir. It was very nice. Very, very polite. And his character and being the Candyman, being Daniel Robitaille, very elegant, very charismatic, very smooth, calculating, and of course puts the fear of God in you. You dare not say his name 5 times in front of that mirror. Plays the role so well because he's so physically imposing, and the way he's dressed. I mean, think about it. He's probably the best dressed like horror movie serial killer. I mean, I could rock those outfits, man. I mean, look at that. I mean, those beautiful jackets, the clothes he's wearing. I mean, like, man, this dude is a well-dressed killer. You can't go wrong there.
That's true.
What's the killer part that I don't really like?
Oh yeah, of course. But then again, I understand he's sympathetic too because he didn't ask to be the Candyman. It's what he got put through and why he's the Candyman. So I totally get it.
Yeah,
it's true.
I agree.
But if you're smart, don't play games because when he comes for you, it's whoo, man, that's a bad way to go.
Yep. Hey, just don't say his name in the mirror and you're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Won't bother you.
You're fine. I want to mention Jeffrey Combs really quickly because we were talking about Reanimator at one point earlier, all of us, but also for The Frighteners because I thought he was just spectacular in that. He also did a one-man play that was about, if I recall, it was Edgar Allan Poe. It was called Poe.
Oh, wow.
And he did that out in Los Angeles, and I had the privilege of going to see that, and it was spectacular. He did such a great job. Wow. Another one that he did when he did The Frighteners, actually, I got to meet him after a screening of it at the what is that? It's the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, and he was there, and he was very nice, very humble man. And I asked him, I was like, you did such an amazing job in Frighteners. I was like, how did you not get the job as Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings? I was like, I felt like you would have been perfect for that, and I still do. And he leans in, he's like, well, Peter doesn't reuse his actors.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what? And he said, yeah, if you ever look at any of his work, he said he doesn't like to reuse his actors. He said he uses different actors almost every single time. I was like, oh.
So he's no Martin Scorsese. You ain't coming back.
No, there's no apparent loyalty there. Like he'll just move on to somebody else. And I guess I could see that. You want to create or discover something new, and you don't need the same person for that vision. You have your own vision. And so it didn't seem like he was bitter about it or anything, but it was a nice little tidbit to learn about Peter Jackson and why Jeffrey Combs didn't come back to any of his other films.
So if you're not in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you ain't coming back.
right, yeah, or the Hobbit trilogy, yeah. Then you're not making a comeback at all. So I thought that was fascinating. Just throw a couple more out. We're gonna wrap this up here quickly, so let's just throw a couple more out that you guys think. I know I mentioned Jeffrey Combs. I think Brad Dourif, I believe.
Yeah,
good one.
That's
Anthony Perkins. God rest his soul.
He did the voice of Child's Play. Anthony Perkins, created Perkins Restaurant. It's a diner. You can get delicious fried fish sandwiches on Fridays, I believe.
Yeah. I thought he ran a
Right.
hotel with his mom, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be
The
wrong.
Bates Hotel.
well, I
thought
think
it
he
was
did
the Bates
both.
Hotel.
Yeah.
I think he did both. Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites that I have to mention because like I'm a huge fan, Tim Curry. Absolutely love Tim Curry.
Oh yes.
I love everything that Tim Curry has done, and I got the I call it an honor. I got the honor of meeting him several years ago at a Monster Mania convention in New Jersey, and that was like the highlight of my day. It's sad to see him in the state that he's in now after having the stroke and everything, but
Right.
he was super, super nice. I got to talk to him for a few minutes, got to take a photo op with him. And for me, like, I'm a huge fan of it. I don't know if you guys remember this from the 80s, The Worst Witch. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that movie since I was a kid. It stuck with me. I love it. Absolutely love it. And that's like my favorite character of all time that he plays, the Grand Wizard in that movie. And I love Tim Curry. Like, I'm a huge fan of Tim Curry. So
Right.
to get to meet him in person was like phenomenal, man.
That's really cool. I
The
always
grandpa
said
from the Lost Boys. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Grandpa from Lost Boys is great. He's been in a lot of stuff too.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
well-known character actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a really cool one. And again, I mean, Keith Sutherland from the Lost Boys.
Of course.
Fantastic. Like the Frog Brothers from the Lost
Oh,
Boys.
the Frog Brothers are awesome. Yeah, the Frog Brothers are
Yes.
great.
There's so much in the Lost Boys I mean, there was a battle going on between me and my head with Lost Boys or Fright Night. Fright Night won out, but I felt like Lost Boys was a really good representation of the time also. So, I really
And they're comic book fans.
Yes.
yes, they are. Yeah.
I was Sid Haig was an awesome person to meet too. Just one of the coolest guys. And I admit that when House of Thousand Corpses came out, that's when I got hip to him. But then I started to watch some of his older work too.
Yes, like his appearance as a biker in 18. I remember
Yeah,
that
right.
very well.
Spider Baby and stuff, like, when he was in there, like I started watching a lot of his older stuff. And the first initial meeting of him was at a convention, like one of my first ones. And we had a drunk guy in the line, and he was trying to do all the lines from the one scene in the movie. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to swear on here. Are we allowed to swear on here? Or is it like a no swears?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Say what you want.
So the guy was in the line, like I said, he's drunk. So he's saying, "Hey, fuck your mama." And everybody's like, "Oh, okay, dude." He's like, "Hey, fuck your sister."
Wow.
And Sid's like looking at him like, "All right, dude, I get it. Like you're quoting the movie, but you're being a dick, right?"
Right.
And he's like, and Sid stands up and he goes, "Most of all, fuck you." And we all lost it, dude. But
Wow.
dude, he never once, even as popular as he got from doing like House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and everything else he was doing at the time, he never raised his price. It was always $20, never more than that, to do autographs. The picture was free as long as you bought an autograph, or he would just take a picture with you sometimes.
Aw.
So I got to meet him like several times, and he was just, you could tell he actually loved the fans. Like he enjoyed being there.
Mhm.
Even when he got sick and he was still doing it, you could tell he just still enjoyed to be around people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like that was a nice person to meet, where you could just tell he was a genuine nice person.
That's cool.
And you can't forget Michael Berryman. I know you had a good experience with him.
I scared the hell out of me. I didn't realize that was a real face. I thought it was makeup. But again, one of the most nicest people you ever meet. I mean, it was someone. I remember someone walked up to him and they wanted him to sign their poster. And he said, "Hey, can you sign Chicken Fucker?" And he goes, "Oh no, I can't put that on there." And he was just like, it was just funny. Like he was like offended by it. Like, "Oh no, I can't do that." Like, but he was so friendly with people. Like you expect him, you almost look at him and, well, of course people judge a book by its cover. And I wasn't trying to be like that when I met him. I was just literally like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that was him."
Mm-hmm.
But you see some people are ignorant, and they're shitty and they say it out loud and he hears that. And that's kind of sad,
Yeah.
Obviously the poor man's lived with that his entire life, I'm sure.
Right.
Just like everyone else gets picked on, bullied, and everything else in life. I'm sure he had a hell of a life growing up like that, and probably still does as an adult.
But the good news is he has a loving wife.
Yeah, and he's, like I said, he's just a super nice person. He's very happy to be there and just meet people and just be around people and stuff. And that's the people you want to meet. That's
Right.
where it's at.
Yeah, that's the important part. Well, I think that's a really nice one to go out on. I think we're going to end there. Geez, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this, and thank the audience for listening in. It's why we do it. We appreciate you guys. You can find us on all podcast platforms. If you can't find us on a podcast platform, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll get on that platform for you. We are on YouTube. We do a live show pretty much every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can find us there. Lots of fun. We have some giveaways. We just recently did one where we gave away some free hot sauce. It was an 80s killer podcast about killers, basically, about horror films, and we gave away a killer pickle hot sauce. That's the name of it. So By Half's hot sauce, a fantastic hot sauce, and it was a lot of fun. We do that, and we do have a lot of audio podcasts that come out, usually about once a week, so tune in on those as well. And stay tuned, because we do have a lot more things in the pipe coming down, or in the drawer getting ready to be opened. I don't know the terminology for these anymore, but just stay tuned, damn it.
Right.
With that, thank you so much, Kevin, for being a part of this. Thank you, John, for being our special guest. You can find John on the Horror Guys podcast on pretty much any horror or any podcast platform. It's terrific, truly horrific, John. So good job.
Thanks, sir.
And thank you for the listeners. We appreciate you very much. And we don't see you out and about anytime soon. Perhaps we'll see you
at the mystifying and sometimes morbid comic book shop.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.